everybody. Hope you're all doing okay at home with all your home learning and trying hard to get through some of the activities your teachers have set for you. We are missing you and really looking forward to having you back as soon as possible. I thought at the end of your first week, after all your learning about the story The Dot, that we could have a think about that story and try and draw out some of the lessons that might help us to become better learners in the future. So let's remind ourselves that at the beginning of the story we had Vashti, who really felt that she was terrible at art. So terrible, in fact, that she almost refused to do any of the drawing activities and learning with her teacher. Luckily for Vashti, she had a teacher that recognised how she might have been feeling, and she supported and encouraged Vashti to become an artist and showed her that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. So when I think about the story and I look at my eggs, I would choose this one about how Vashti might have felt at the beginning, making sure you can see the word. I think she felt really sad. I think she might have also felt some other things. I think she might have felt frustrated and maybe even had a little bit of anger. I'm going to let you into a bit of a secret. And this is about something I wasn't very good at when I was very young. So when you're about 17 or 18, you're allowed to start learning to drive. It's a very exciting time in your life. And when I was 17 and 18, just like everybody else, that's exactly what I wanted. I couldn't wait to have my own car, and I couldn't wait to be able to go on journeys and be really independent. All of my friends started learning and lots of them passed their test. So I thought it'll be my turn soon too. I can still remember taking my first test. And unfortunately for me, I wasn't successful. And the examiner had to tell me that I'd failed. I felt really sad, disappointed, and quite frustrated. But I wasn't the only one of my friends who'd failed the first time, so I thought to myself, don't worry, give it another go. On the second time, I'm sure you'll pass. So really excitedly, I let everybody know that I was having my second test and I was really sure I was going to pass this time. And off I went, and I got the news that I'd failed again. This time, as well as feeling disappointed and frustrated and sad, I also felt embarrassed. It felt like everyone else had passed their test and I just couldn't do it. It was only a couple of very silly things that the examiner said I need to improve on before I could be a driver on my own, but I don't think I was prepared to listen. Instead, I let the feeling of embarrassment cover me too much. So when I came to do my third test, the same thing happened, and I failed again. And this time, I think it's because I went into the test not believing I was going to pass, and I had the wrong attitude. I wasn't feeling positive. But after that test, my dad sat me down and went through a few things with me. He also got my driving instructor to speak to me as well, and the two of them helped me to understand that I was a good driver and that they wouldn't be letting me do my test if they didn't feel I could be safe on the road. So after a few chats with them, I started to feel confident again. And I remember sitting in the seat for the fourth time, but this time I felt very different. I stayed calm. I got that one. Yeah. And I listened. I took my time. And at the end of the test, I was so excited when the examiner told me that I'd finally passed. I couldn't wait to share the news with all my friends. And if I think now of all the places that I can take my own children to because I have a car and I'm able to drive, I feel like I would be missing out on quite a lot of things if I hadn't listened to my dad and my driving instructor at the time. So I'm going to put the word proud at the front now, because that's how I felt when I finally passed my test. I had to be a couple of things, I had to show a couple of things to do this. I had to be resilient. We often speak about this word in school. And we often talk about good learners being resilient, not giving up. I had to persevere. That's another way of saying being resilient and not giving up. And at the end of it, I was rewarded with success. My hard work and my effort were rewarded at last. And that's exactly how Vashti felt at the end of the story, when she felt as though she was a real artist and she had works of art that other people wanted to see. Imagine just how proud she felt. There's something I particularly like at the end of the story, and that's when Vashti notices the little boy who has the same feelings that she felt at the beginning. She understands him, and she goes over and she helps him out. And she does this. I'm not sure if you can see this, hopefully you can. She inspires him. She gives him the motivation to go and get better at something. So when you're at home today, have a think about something that you found really, really difficult, and that eventually you overcame that difficulty and you achieved something. Maybe your grown-up at home can tell you what they found difficult. Maybe they'll share their stories about learning to drive with you too. And now think about a time that maybe you inspired somebody else, that you were their inspiration and that you helped them out. Have a great day, everybody, and have a good weekend, and we look forward to seeing you back in school very soon. Bye-bye.